Hi everyone, my name's Nick and today I'm going to be talking about gender and how society portrays gender, defines gender, how we as a society distribute and choose gender roles, and how all this affects the meaning of gender and affects people in society. Gender is not the same as sex. Biologically, sex is X and Y chromosomes which code for a male or a female and then are physically represented by genitalia or other body parts. Many people use the two words interchangeably, but gender is actually a totally different concept altogether. Gender is constructed and presented by and for society. Gender is maintained by the ideologies surrounding it, such as feminism, which gives power to females to overcome the prevailing perceptions of toxic masculinity. People automatically make a judgment of gender, boy or girl, male or female, but Mary Holmes says that we don't know how to think of people as neutral. Gender roles are defined differently depending on culture and background and depending on the beliefs and values of different cultures and different societies. The understanding of various roles will change. Therefore, gender is not universal. Its concepts and foundations are constantly being altered and are even different from place to place, community to community across the world. Undoubtedly, the topic of gender has increased exponentially in the media over just the beginning of the 21st century. This has resulted in a concerted effort from politicians, celebrities, television, radio, film personalities, journalists and educators to cast a more positive light on females in society, to encourage young girls to be themselves and not give in to stereotypes, to empower women and challenge the long-standing perception of toxic masculinity and gender roles that degrade females. According to Madeline Gerard, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has made over $12 billion solely from ticket sales since 2008, becoming one of the biggest and most popular enterprises in world cinema. From its first movie release, Iron Man, in 2008, characters such as Iron Man, played by Robert Downey Jr., and Captain America, played by Chris Evans, as well as Thor, played by Chris Hemsworth, have risen to fame. But what do all these superheroes have in common? They're all male. Marvel Studios has adapted to the changing times since its first release over 10 years ago. Back in 2008, gender wasn't the same issue that it is today, and now that it's publicised frequently through the media, there has been a great increase in not only the appearance of female characters in the movies, but also the role those female characters play in the overall outcome of the movie timeline. The early movies in the cinematic timeline saw female characters primarily featuring as assistants or love interests to the male superheroes, such as Gwyneth Paltrow's character Pepper Potts in Iron Man. Iron Man 2 in 2010 introduced Scarlett Johansson's character into the MCU, initially going by the name of Natalie Rushman, but later known as Natasha Romanoff or the Black Widow. Her introduction into the film again sees the male characters initially view her as a sexy, attractive assistant, says Gerard, but she later leaves everyone's jaws hanging low for a different reason.
You can read Latin or you can write Latin, but you can't speak Latin.
Because she modeled in Tokyo.
Well,
I need her. She's got everything that I need.
Rule number 1, never take your eye off your opponent.
oh my God! Happy!
That's what I'm talking about.
Just slip.
You did?
Yeah.
Looks like a TKO.
That will be all, Miss Rushman. Thank you very much.
I want one.
No.
For the rest of the 20-plus movie timeline, the Black Widow becomes a vital part of the series as a founding member of the Avengers and features heavily in the Captain America series and also Avengers movies. Despite this heightened role and recognition, Gerard goes on to explain that this is diminished due to her becoming a love interest yet again, first for Steve Rogers in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and later for Bruce Banner or the Hulk in Avengers: Age of Ultron. Black Widow remained the only real staple woman in the franchise until the beginning of this year, when Brie Larson's character Captain Marvel burst onto the scene with her own film. This film quickly rose to the very top of highest grossing films in their first weekend. The refreshing take that it took on superhero movies drew wide-scale positive reviews and has continued through the opening week of Avengers Endgame as Captain Marvel and other female heroes come together to defeat Thanos alongside their male counterparts.
If we do this, how do we know it's gonna end any differently than it did before?
Because before you didn't have me.
Hey, new girl. Everybody in this room is about that superhero life. And if you don't mind my asking, where the hell have you been all this time?
There are a lot of other planets in the universe. And unfortunately, they didn't have you guys.
I like this one.
How are you gonna get us through all
she's got help.
From the early days of females being largely used in the MCU as love interests, side characters, and assistants to do the bidding of male characters, Endgame brought a wholly new approach to female heroes, whereby Captain Marvel was key to saving the day for the Avengers, alongside other important females in the franchise in a moment of empowerment for females.